Hello, and yes, you join me in a rather windy field because I have bought a new car, a car that's actually quite significant. It means quite a lot to me. How did this come to be? What's the context and why is there a new car here? Well, my girlfriend, who is also quite enthusiastic about cars, she's got a daily, but it's not something that you could be proud of or take to car shows or anything like that. So we want to get something that we could share. She could take along to car shows because, as some of you might be aware, I've got my Audi R8, I've got my crazy Type R engine Jazz. So this is something that she can use and we can share and enjoy together. Now thankfully, the car that she wanted and the car that means a great deal to me, one that I've wanted to get for quite a while, just happened to align. So without further ado, let me turn around and show you what it is. Yep, it's a Mark II Focus RS. Now this video is very informal for me. It's not usually my style, but I know there are a few of you out there who follow the channel quite consistently now and like to stay up to speed with what's happening with me and my cars and stuff. So this is for you. This is to fill you in on the new purchase, let you know what's happening. So here it is. It's a 2010 Ford Focus RS Mark II. So why one of these then? Well, to be honest with you, I had one in my early 20s, right? And although I loved the car, it was ultimate green by the way, I never fully appreciated it. I never appreciated how significant a car it would be to me. When I was that age, I always thought, oh, I've got loads of nice cars to come. I thought the power would always go up and the cars would get better and better and better to drive. But the Mark II always left a lasting impression on me. It's the car that I've always missed most, and don't get me wrong, I've been lucky enough to go on and own some really rather special stuff. I've had GTRs, I had a Ferrari 360, multiple R8s. But the RS, it'll always have a place in my heart, I think. And here we are back again with this beautiful frozen white 2010 car. That's enough waffle from me. Let me give you a few details on this specific car. You know what? Finding one of these in a non-modified, non-rusty state is harder than you might think. Also, take a guess at this point as to how much you think I paid for this car. I think it was a good deal, but still it's sickening compared to how much they were worth back in, I don't know, whenever I was in my early 20s, 10, 12 years ago now anyway. I sold my old green one, I think for about £19,000. I don't want to think about that anymore. Anyway, this car, let me tell you about it. So as close to stock as I could find one really. It does have an intercooler on it, it does have a catback exhaust, but other than that, we are pretty much stock. So let me walk you around. Frozen white, obviously, as you can see. It's a Miltech exhaust that the last owner has gone for. I mean, wouldn't have been my choice. I think if you're going to go aftermarket, just go out there, get the KMS Thunderstorm or something loud like I had on my old one. I'm a bit by that now, I'm getting a bit old for that. So honestly, the Miltech ain't too bad. It wouldn't have been my choice, but it's got enough. Could maybe use a little bit more, but the car's that original, I don't really want to change it. And also, get a load of, I don't know if the camera's picking this up properly, but the standard ride height of a Focus RS, it's quite a tall car actually. When I bought the car, one of the things that a friend had said to me is, oh yeah, it could do with lowering a little bit. But again, the car's that original, it's that nice, I don't really want to go putting modifications on it over and above what it's got. And having said that, what it's got is pretty reversible anyway. So springs and lowering and stuff is not going to be happening on this car. I like it, I think it looks good. And we've almost come full circle, I think, as well, because every RS that you see has been modified and has been lowered. It's quite refreshing actually to see one that hasn't. There's my take anyway. Interior wise, it is fully spec'd, so that was one of the reasons that I chose this particular car, because it's got that Lux 2-pack, so it's got the reverse camera and such in there, and it's also got the, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure these are termed as Dynamica seats, where it's got this kind of suede Alcantara insert rather than the colour. Really nice, subtle enough, and also feels pretty good as well. Let me show you under the bonnet. It features a working bonnet lock, a rarity on a Mark II. And there you have what a stock RS engine bay looks like. It's funny, isn't it? Because back in the day, if someone popped their bonnet and they had loads of chrome and a big crossover pipe and a big cone air filter, everyone was like, oh wow. But nowadays, the rarity is in being standard. So if anything, I think this might solicit more oh wows than one that's been modied out its head. Anyway, 5-cylinder Volvo derived engine. To my mind, hot hatches peaked with this engine. I don't think there's a better engine, full stop. If you disagree with me, if you agree with me, let me know in the comments below. But this, something special. Again, I just didn't appreciate it when I was younger, but I certainly do now. Anyway, that's enough chat. Let's get out on the road, talk a bit more about it. I just heard a 5-cylinder as well as I said that. So yes, whilst I remember, I paid 26,000, yes, 26 for this car. It's a lot of money, isn't it? You could argue it's a lot of money, but on the other hand, significant car to a lot of people. You can let me know whether or not you think that's a good deal. It's on 43,000 miles. It's been serviced by the same Ford technician at the same Ford garage for most of its life. It is, for all intents and purposes, a very nice example of a usable Mark II RS. The amount of money that you need to part with to get a green one nowadays, that ultimate green colour, don't get me wrong, I adore it. I love that colour, one of my favourite colours, but I'm not going to pay £8,000, £9,000, £10,000 over what you're going to pay for a frozen white one. I'm just not going to do it. Anyway, I remember back when I had my original green Mark II, it was right about that time when the Mark III was set to come out. And I remember just being so disappointed by it. Where was that growling 5-cylinder engine? Where were the flared arches? It just didn't do it for me. The one good thing it did do, it made me hang on to my Mark II a little bit longer. In the end, I ended up part exchanging it for some insignificant dross anyway, so it didn't really matter. Anyway, let's not dwell. Let's get out on the road, enjoy some of that 5-cylinder warble. Just one moment of your time, if you don't mind, before we get into the drive with the RS. When you're buying your next car, consider using this service. I don't promote anyone lightly on this channel, only genuinely useful services. Check out vehiclescore.co.uk. This is a free service. It'll tell you all the good and bad points about your next car. Just put the plate in and it'll give you a detailed report. If you are serious about buying that car, buy one of their paid HPI reports for a full history. Now back to the video. Did we peak too soon with the Mark II RS? Did we peak too soon? Is this the best hot hatch that we've seen in the last 15 years? Me and certainly the residuals would suggest that there are a few people out there that are going to say that. I mean, dynamically, no, of course not. There's cars out there, there's hot hatches out there that would absolutely run rings round this RS nowadays. You take a bog standard RS3 for instance, and this car wouldn't see what way it went. But that's just it, isn't it? Cars are so much more than the sum of their parts. They've got a personality to them. And if we take this, the way that it looks, super aggressive, almost supercar level, in your face looks that Fords, quite honestly, haven't repeated since. You got that engine, that Volvo drive 5-cylinder that is just a joy. Whether you're getting after it or not, if you're just cruising, it's so silky smooth, but get on it. And it's still no slouch nowadays. It still gets down the road just fine. And finally, if we're going to talk about brands and brand heritage, it's got that RS badge. And I love everything that stands for. My whole family grew up driving RS models. It's always been the working man's affordable performance car. And I love that. So yes, I for one feel very privileged to be back meeting my hero once again. We don't all get a second chance, but I'm certainly not going to underappreciate it this time. Now thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video and you want to see more about this RS, please do hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Cheers for now.